This is Sari from Finland. She's going to be helping me on the techniques. For this first day, I'm going to go over some drills you can use as a warm-up, okay? Since our idea is to focus on the technique, you don't have to do warm-ups too hard, like push-ups, running around and all this. All you need is to get your body warm so you don't get hurt. So there is nothing better to do than just doing drills and things that are related with the technique you're going to work for the day, okay? So let's start with a basic guard pass. Probably have done this many times in your academy, okay? We're just going to control outside, move, handle the foot to the other one, grabbing inside. Take a step to the side and bring the knee on the belly, okay? You don't need to establish nothing. You just use this as a warm-up, getting your body used to the movement we're gonna work. So outside, inside, move it out, knee on the belly. Come back, outside, inside, move it out, and come. You can do this 10 times for each side, and then switch. Okay, on the second drill, we're gonna use similar movement, but now the person will be with outside hook and stopping your hip over here. There is no grip for the moment, okay? This is what you're going to do. Try to keep your knee pointing out, okay? That's gonna be useful for any time when people are trying to put the hook outside. When you keep it out, you prevent the hook from getting too deep on you, okay? Now, let's not use any grips on the hands for the moment. You're gonna come under, move it up your hip, change hands just like you did before, and then you move your hips back down. You're gonna still have your knee up, just like you were putting the knee on the belly. Now you're gonna keep it up. And that one, instead of just taking a step forward, you're gonna come down over here. Notice that we're getting a lot closer to past the guard. But let's not establish the position yet. Just get the movement back, change sides, move it up, turn, move it here. Let me do this once on the side here. Outside hook, move it up, turn, go down, and up on your knees. To the other side so you can see. Move it up, change, go down, keep this knee up, and you have the control here. That's gonna be your second drill. Okay, on the third one, the person can make a grip, because we're gonna start to get into the technique more deeply. So we are over here. You can hold the knee down as well, so the person is just on control completely your arm. Okay, this you're going to swing it out, and even if you're having a hard time to bring your elbow back, when you take the step forward, your hand's gonna be where you are. So it doesn't mean you have to be stronger than the person to reach the foot. Your hip coming forward is gonna put your hand where you need to be. So you move it up, and now you're going to handle to this side, and that hand comes here, okay? So you don't have to break that grip over here. The moment you go down, you gotta make sure your knee is right in the middle of here. And you are pressing the hand down. Now it's very important, notice this detail over here. My hand's gonna come across the hip over here. I'm not going for the head, because if I do this, the person will easily bring the knee back. So my hand comes across, I make a grip on the pants, and I turn my elbow down, okay? By doing this movement, the person gets the hip completely controlled, and he cannot react exactly, coming outside or turning. From here, you're gonna put the other knee down and control inside the hip. You're not controlling the head yet, but you're controlling the lower body. The hips will prevent the person from coming out. If it's a tournament situation, you hold there for the 3 seconds, get your 3 points for passing the guard, and then you can advance and change for the head. Okay, this time we're gonna do the same thing. Start pushing, turning the knee. You're gonna take your step forward, move your hips, turn. Remember, now that knee goes down. You push the leg down, so you have some leverage over here. Make it a little bit harder for the person to escape. As you make that contour on the hip and your elbow gets down towards the ground, the person gets stuck. If the person tries to turn outside, your blocking is not going to allow her to go. So that leaves only one option, which is to turn this way and try to push you. Okay? Since you have that control here on the leg, when the person pushes, go ahead. You stretch that leg and drop yourself over here. It's going to be very important that you control the outside leg. Let me show you from this angle over here. When you come, the person push. Notice here my left hand, how I'm going to move that leg away from me to prevent the person to just bring it back and recover the guard. So my arm will be stretched over here. I'm going to start to control. If I need, I change my hips and then bring it back. Okay, notice that the beginning of the technique, since the drill, are very connected with each other. So it's important that you understand that these start as a warm-up, and without you even feeling, you're getting yourself warm as you start to do the technique. And it's important to break it like this because each time that I add a little something, it's going to be easier than if I just come here and show the last technique that I want you to get. So it's important that you go over like this. Do like 20 times each side, you know, or even more if you, depending how you feel, okay? So for this set, what we're going to do now is, remember, pointing, take a step forward, move, change. Now at this point, like I said before, if you control here, the person cannot react, okay, to go outside. But there are sometimes you have a hard time to make the perfect grip and you end up grabbing somewhere where the person can easily turn. When that happens, you shouldn't be too worried because the person is giving a clear back. It's for sure it's an act of that exploration. Nobody wants to give the back like this. So as the person turns, go ahead, you should just control the hip and keep yourself on the back. I always like turn a little bit this way, please, on your knees. I always like to keep my knee off the ground to have more pressure over here. If you put your knee on the ground, that means you're splitting your weight in two. So a little bit on your partner and a little bit on the ground. Instead of that, I will push the ground, have my knee off. So it makes much heavier on the hip over here before you start to attack, which is what we're gonna do next. Go ahead and try this first, please. Okay, now we're gonna work the last part of the technique. And this is what we're gonna be focusing for the rest of those 5 days. So this is very important. All this work we're doing is to start to attack the back, to force the person to turn and give the back. So take a step forward, move your hips, change. If you break the grip in the moment you do this, even better, okay? Now, knee on the ground, I'm coming to control over here. I do a bad grip, the person managed to turn, and I control over here, okay? I'm gonna show you first from this angle. Well, a lot of times when the person turns, it's not always easy to put the hook, would be almost a mistake, I would say, for you to just try to put your outside hook, because you become too heavy on your head, it's easy to get out. So what I have been doing is, and it's working a lot for me, is I come with my outside knee and I try to fit on this space over here. If I just try to put it in like this, it's too hard. The detail here is that you're going to turn. I'm going to turn instead of here, I'm going to turn this way, okay? So it ends up that my leg fits perfect on that space over here. That's what I want. Okay, so from here, I'm going to turn that way. Now I'm stay heavy over here. So the person is still uncomfortable. Maybe a little bit confused if the person haven't seen this. But that's the moment where you're going to come with your hand, and I'm going to show the other angle later. Over the leg, and that one inside. Okay? Your first moment, what you're going to do is make a grip like this and bring the person back a little bit. You almost sit. Why? That's going to give the space you need to put that hook over here, okay? You need to enter that hook. The moment you have that hook, you start to push a little bit, open this so you can kick the other leg out and hook. At this moment, you have it inside, you can start to escape, either turn to attack or bring the person over here. Escape your hip out, and now you're ready to put the hook. Let's do from the other angle, turn it this way please. The completely opposite. You here, you turn and put it here. Notice that I'm keeping my weight here. That leg's still pushing. That hand's gonna come inside and I'm gonna lock like this over here. Now, as I push, I have the space I need. Kick it out, hook it in. Okay? Now I can start follow the motion. Once I get here, very important, escape the hip out. So the person follows in between your legs and you can put the other hook before you attack or at the same time. Let's make this angle here backwards. So I'm over here, I turn, hand already come to inside, I'm heavy over here, bring it. Sometimes it's gonna be very easy to put it in, sometimes the person is hiding, then you need to do this motion. Now, boom, right away. Breathe, kick it out. The person is here, no problem, escape your hip out. Notice how, go back a little bit. Notice how I push her hip down and adjust to put it here. Okay? Go.